grave danger. He will not survive unless I assist him.
Gee, and you are?
I am Dr. Stephen Strange. Come, the fate of the world is at stake. May the light of the Oshtur guide us to my sanctum sanctorum.
Hey, Dr. Weird. What do you think you're doing? What?
Not weird. Strange. I am strange.
Yeah, tomatoes.
Yeah, it's great that we live in a day where, like,
Savage Dragon.
the Marvel's just put out enough stuff that all these stupid characters get some shine now.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an issue of Avengers where she and Wolverine fight and she beats Wolverine in like hand-to-hand combat. So of course that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, well, who says Wolverine's good at hand-to-hand combat, you know? Like, he's already got
been around.
unbreakable bones and a healing factor. Like, why does he need to be good at fighting, too?
Yeah, you could just take it.
Exactly.
You have knives, so you don't really need to know how to fight.
Exactly. He's
Just a slasher.
Yeah, snicked, and you're done. Hello and welcome to the WIP, the What If podcast that's a work in progress. I am your host, Patrick Swayze, the Slim James, joined by my man, the living embodiment of John Leguizamo, the franchise, and of course the second coming of Wesley Snipes, Andrew the Giant.
Yeah.
Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Why am I speaking about Tu Wong Fu? Wong, Doctor Strange. Wong Fu is probably the discipline that he knows in martial arts. That might be racist, but his name's Wong, so, you know.
What's his first name?
Two. But hey, you know, you can't go Wong with Doctor Strange.
If it ain't Wong, it ain't right.
Exactly. So speaking of Doctor Strange, he's our subject du jour today. Because they like, is it confirmed Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be in the movie? Your boy?
I think the last I saw, they were in final talks.
Okay. Because, like, there's been
Just about.
There's been, you know, swirling rumors about guys all but confirmed, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, River Phoenix, Johnny Depp.
You never know.
You know, and they're like, oh yeah, done deal, and then not so much done deal.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, your boy Benjamin Cinnabon,
Cumberbund.
yeah,
Cinnabon.
he'll bring it through. So yeah, that sort of brings it back around to we're at a point now where like they're making a Doctor Strange movie on purpose.
A standalone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange by himself.
Yeah, and
movie.
and people are excited.
Yeah.
Like we live in the new golden age of comic book fandom.
Well, I'm excited,
Yes,
but
I assume-
other people probably aren't excited.
yeah.
Well, most people probably don't even know who he is.
Yeah, but they
Or why he would be there.
yeah the normals. No, I heard about a guy talking like that at Comic-Con, and I'm like, fuck off.
That's horrible.
Like you're just acknowledging that you're abnormal. Like I know I am,
But you're
I
still
don't-
at a comic book convention.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Yeah, all those Marvel movies they announced. There's a lot to talk about because there was a lot of movies. They just go, hey, we're making all these at once.
Well, we
Do
had
it.
talked about this before. Like, there was a newspaper article exclaiming that this new round of titles that they announced, they're like stepping up doing a movie with a black guy as the star
That was in the newspaper?
and as a woman. Yeah,
Oh.
and they're
Wesley Snipes in
Yeah.
Tu Wong Fu.
Who's better than the Fantastic Four? Because they're black now in the next movie.
no, but they've already had.
Well-
they had Blade. He was
Well,
a
yeah,
black
but he
guy
was-
with his own thing.
Yeah.
And they had Elektra. She was a woman with her own movie. So
Oh, yeah.
these people probably, whoever wrote that story probably didn't even realize that Marvel made movies before.
Well, those aren't
Iron Man.
those aren't
Yeah.
those aren't Marvel movies per se though, and it's because like Captain Marvel, the female in that aforementioned list of movies, will probably be much more fruitful than Elektra and make
let's
6
hope so.
times as much
Yes.
money. And like you know, Blade, people probably don't. If you don't know comic books, you don't think of that as a comic book movie because you know
Yeah.
it's a black guy hunting vampires.
Yeah, it's a vampire movie.
Wesley Snipes. It all comes back to Wesley Snipes.
Tornado.
There's Captain America, Civil War. That looks like it might be neat.
That would be cool, because Civil War was a good event.
Yeah.
They've already
It's really-
started hinting at it with some clips with Captain America and Tony Stark talking, and they
Oh.
argue a little bit.
Ah.
So they start hinting that they obviously don't feel the same way about stuff.
About the Superhero Registration Act, probably?
Yeah, not they don't come right out and say it. Like Captain America gets mad because he's splitting wood, and he picks one up and just rips it in half.
Why doesn't he do that all the time? He doesn't need an axe.
Because, like, you know, Captain America is like, shawarma again. God.
No, not shawarma. It's awesome. We eat it
Yeah,
all
but
the time.
again. Can't we get something American, like boiled steak and potatoes?
Boiled steak.
Yeah, well, in Captain America, the first Avenger, he says, like, the food's better. We used to boil. Oh, I think it's the Winter Soldier. He says the food's better. We used to boil everything.
Yeah.
So that's a deep pull, Marvel cinematic joke. So yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah.
I assume his story is going to be like, hey guys, I got some vibranium, and they'd be like, yo, you should give that to us, and he'd be like, nah, I don't wanna. Conflict ensues.
Get it.
Yeah. And you know, Claw, the living master of sound, shows up and be like, "Ah!" Like, does he? Yeah, it's him walking around. He just makes noise, right?
Well,
Because he's living sound.
well, he is now, but in the beginning he was a man who could project sound for a while with just that thing on his hand. The claw. But it's not like claw at all. It looks like
No, his last name's Claw. Yeah, he's got a megaphone.
Yeah. But then he got turned into it because he got trapped inside his own megaphone.
Hey, why not? Let's do it.
People.
So he
need to learn how to
played by Michael
this stuff.
Winslow. Michael Winslow's Claw.
Through car alarm sound effects the whole time.
The culmination of all of this, because yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor Ragnarok,
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and then you got Avengers, the final countdown, 1 and 2, the Infinity War.
Well, there was another Captain America in there too.
Oh yeah, that's the Civil War.
The Serpent Society.
I didn't see anything about that.
I
Yeah,
did.
that's what you were telling me on Halloween.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that refuted, but I digress. The point is,
Anyway. Yeah.
even if there is
the
a
two-part.
the
Infinity
two-part
War.
finale, you know, that's going to be kind of a cool concept because you have this essentially generation of movies, 15, maybe close to 20 years or whatever, however long it's out.
From they're going to have all of these movies that are coming out. All of those people are going to be.
Yeah, it builds toward this super duper crossover. So that's going to be
So
cool.
many.
That there's sort of an end game. It'd be like if all the Friday the 13th actually led to something.
Yeah. You never know. There's still time.
Yeah. Well, they have to make movies now until Jason X becomes present day. Is it 500 or 5,000 years in the future?
I don't remember.
I think it's 500. So get ready for the next 400 years of Friday the 13th. So Doctor Strange, he's got a movie too.
Yes.
It's going to be weird to see him sort of play into this, although he might have one of those Infinity Gems laying around in his bag of magic tricks.
That's what we were thinking too.
Yeah, with all those seer attacks.
Well, that was one of the
thumbtacks.
They have a teaser for Infinity War already,
Eye of Agamotto.
and they show and
That could be one.
Cloak of something.
Corporate levitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's good too that they sort of like double up some of these all-powerful mystic artifacts as the so-called Infinity Gems, because like you have like, oh, it's just this little rock and it's got superpowers, and then you also have like the cosmic cube and other stuff. But if they just sort of say, hey, this super duper entity, the cosmic cube, which by the way, like in the comics, is created by AIM, the laboratory, which seems retarded. Mm-hmm. But no, it's a super duper artifact. You know, you need to collect all of these. That sort of like, you know, gives it a Pokemon feeling. Got to catch them all, as Thanos would say.
Yeah. Well, the teaser is just showing clips from previous movies, where it
But
shows
those parts.
the Tesseract is one, Loki's scepter is one,
The ether.
from Thor, and then the one from
Purple.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
so
the
there's
purple.
still two more. So we
Yeah.
think possibly Doctor Strange might have one, and
Yeah.
maybe one
Maybe-
chilling on Wakanda.
Yeah, maybe his Eye of Agamotto, that could be, you know, double up.
Because I don't know who else.
Well, is
Who
Ant-Man
else
going to find
would
one in
ha-
his?
Maybe.
Is there one in the microverse?
Maybe.
Cyclops
It's
or
just really
something
small.
he's holding on to?
Found it.
Yeah, or well, he doesn't shrink down to a subatomic scale. No, it says Ant-Man, not subatomic man.
Yeah, but eventually in the comics he does shrink down to subatomic.
Eventually. Yeah, well, we don't have time for eventually in
Well, we
one
have
movie.
old-
Raoul Putt is going to have his van, and he's going to get small.
Got my van at the river.
Exactly. So, Doctor Strange. Originally a Steve Ditko joint. Good old Steve Ditko, the crazy libertarian weirdo who thinks that calendars cameras steal. He thinks that calendars steal your soul. He might. It's hard to say. Steve Ditko, who claimed to be the co-creator of Spider-Man, even though he didn't create he didn't think up the idea, and he ripped off the costume idea from a 50s Halloween costume. The internet told me. That asshole Steve Ditko.
Was the picture of the costume taken with a camera? So it was...
And they didn't have cameras in the 50s.
You know how he feels about cameras.
Oh, yeah.
So, steal it.
So, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, he got into a car accident.
He was drunk.
Had his
It's
hubris.
self-inflicted
Yeah.
drug. That's what it said. Self-inflicted drug.
Gunshot wound. So he's got the gimp hands and can't be a surgeon anymore. I don't know, I couldn't just be a poor surgeon and just sort of hack people up.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got this. So he travels to Tibet, maybe, mountains, to find the Ancient One. And he's like, yo, dog, heal me. And Ancient One would be all like, no, heal yourself. Heal your soul.
Because he hears scuttlebutt of the Ancient One. Who is just chatting it up at a bar about the Ancient One.
Yeah,
to
on the-
go, hey,
Goes.
that sounds fantastic. I'm gonna go find that guy.
Yeah, as in one of the movies, the animated thing they made in 2009 or whatever that was on Netflix. I watched as research.
Yeah.
It's some street thug would be like, "Yo, dog,
In passing,
Ancient One and shit." Oh snap!
got to get me some of that.
You would think a smart guy like a surgeon like Doctor Strange would have access to books and might read about him that way.
No, just hears it on the street. Plus, I like how easily he finds the Ancient One.
Oh yeah, you just gotta
Anyone who wants to.
one
could
ticket
just go
to
there.
Tibet, please, and then you
Get
just
off the
walk.
airplane. Oh,
well,
Ancient
yeah,
One.
you get a cab.
Yeah,
to the
rickshaw.
Yeah, a
Take
rickshaw.
me to a Sherpa.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see, street people
Ancient
know
One,
who the
please.
Ancient One is, so obviously a cab driver's gonna know.
Yeah.
So he's got his crimson bands of Siratak, his Eye of Agamotto, a neat cape.
Of levitation.
Uh-huh.
His wand of Watum.
As a matter of fact, Steve Ditko ripped himself off or whatever because both Doctor Strange and Spider-Man used the devil sign hands.
He only had one hand model.
So Doctor Strange, he's got his nemesis, Mordo, who starts out as a disciple of the Ancient One, and then, is secretly in cahoots with Dormammu, his super-duper nemesis.
Dormammu.
Yeah, dorm room. Figure he'd be a cool villain for a movie. He's got some Human Torch head. He kind of looks like a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I've seen pictures with him with 6 arms, and sometimes he usually has 2. But Mordo, that's one of those names where you're obviously gonna be evil.
Well, it's almost more dread.
Yeah, exactly. The inbred son of Morgan Le Fay. And as we all know, inbreds can do no good. Doctor Strange, a true and blue second tier character.
Oh yeah, at
Yeah,
least.
yeah. His solo
I
series
don't even
never.
know if I would give him a second tier billing.
Maybe 4.
Because
Yeah.
Iron Man was second tier.
Well, you say that, but there's pop culture second tier, and then in Marvel Universe second tier. Because Captain America, up until that movie, he didn't have anything. He couldn't even get his own cartoon series. So in pop culture, he's sort of second
Iron Man
second
at least
tier.
had his own.
But
stuff.
in the universe, Captain America is leader of the Avengers, so he's sort of a character taken seriously.
Yeah.
Well, Doctor Strange was on the Avengers 5 years ago. It was that new Avengers.
Eventually.
Also had,
Yeah,
Wolverine,
well,
Spider-Man,
yeah,
everyone
that's-
else exists.
Yeah, that's after they sort of
Beast was in the Avengers.
That's when they did when the levee breaks,
Yeah.
and
So
then
they-
everyone's Avenger now.
Because then they can all go in the movies.
Yeah.
Except
Well,
Spider-Man.
yeah. Well, then
And
they
Beast and
they were
Wolverine.
talking about possibly.
They're renting Spider-Man
Yeah.
from Fox for something.
Yeah.
Well, I had
Something,
seen they had got permission to use. It wasn't. I know I'd said during the Avengers they were going to try to put the Baxter Building
Yeah.
in the background. I think it was supposed to
Oscorp.
be the Oscorp building,
Yeah.
but they ran out of time.
That's one of those things where it'd be neat, but it's not
just to show that
necessary.
Hey, even though these two companies are assholes and
Like
hate each other.
Like Spider-Man being like, "Hey guys, stuff, right?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Or even if Spider-Man was just swinging through in the Battle of New York and just got killed by an alien real quick. You barely see him. It's just a little nod to
Because
each other.
Sony's bleeding
Shit
money.
straight into the side of one of the
Spider-Man 2, you think, Spider-Man movies, obviously, but no, it's well behind a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Just wrap your head around that. The fact that the Guardians of the Galaxy is way better than Spider-Man in a movie.
Yeah.
So Sony might be like, yeah, so if like we have our character in your movie, we might be able to make more money off of our movie, huh?
Because he was in Civil War a lot.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Yeah. I mean, you don't really have another guy at that caliber that nobody knows who he is.
Bill Foster.
That can
Big
unmask.
giant black Goliath.
Yeah. And he has the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
And that'd be neat.
Yes.
But that's like what it boils down to, is that it wouldn't be necessary for Spider-Man to be in these movies for them to make money, but it'd be neat.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. And it'd be good for Sony, because they'd be like, oh shit, you guys are making boatloads of money. Because like, obviously we're kind of fucking up Spider-Man by making it super goofy or whatever, or not as good.
Even just on merchandise, they can make a buttload of money just
Yeah.
licensing Spider-Man for the Avengers. We could put the Avengers Infinity War tag on the Spider-Man action figure.
Yeah. But back to our initial point. Second-tier characters.
Strange.
Nobody ever cared about any of his solo series. They all fizzled out.
Well, this is now.
You know, he pops up to use magic sometimes. You know, he's sort of the Deus Ex Machina. Oh yeah, I have a magic solution to your problem. And I'll just use my Spider-Man hands, wave my
Ronnie James Dio. Yeah.
surfer bra, and then it's done. Yeah, like I feel like he popped up in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s to sort of do some of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I need you to fix my problems, Doctor Strange. Okay. Obviously, you can tell he's second tier because he was the founding member of the Defenders.
Well, the Defenders also had Hulk.
Yeah, so.
That's a top tier character.
Yeah. Not, well, maybe in terms of solo stuff, but on a team,
Okay.
he can never stick around long enough to be like part of an
Someone's just
awesome
running
team.
away.
Yeah. He's like, "Ugh." Like, why do you guys even bother? He's obviously going to smash.
The man's trying to hold me down. I'm out of here.
Right. 90s Doctor Strange. Fill me in, Turner.
It was big into the Infinity stuff because the 90s was huge with the Infinity Gauntlet and then the Infinity War and then the Infinity Crusade.
Yeah, with your Adam Warlocks.
Yeah, so a lot of the Doctor Strange was tie-ins to that because he was good friends with Adam Strange. Apparently.
Adam Warlock. Adam Strange is a different character.
Adam
I think
Strange
he might even be
Warlock.
DC.
I don't know. Probably.
But if they
So,
had
Adam
sweet
Warlock.
love, they'd give birth to Adam Strange.
Well, they pretty much do, because they're just like that good of friends in here.
Exactly.
Then the Silver Surfer is showing up all the time.
Yeah.
They're really good friends because that's another defender. And then other than that, he loses his powers for a while because he tries to ask too many of those beings for their might, and he never does anything for them, so they all strip him of his power, and he goes around moping for a while.
What did they think was going to happen?
I don't know.
What are you going to get from him?
Surgery. Don't know what you got till it's gone.
What's Doctor Strange going to do for the exemplars?
And then, you know, I'm missing some towards the later end of the second volume, but the ones I have show him devolving into the mopey Johnny Depp sort of character.
Yeah, is that the same
what's
guy? Because he looks like a young boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm missing a lot. Well, the eye patch is at the beginning when they're trying to nick Fury. Yeah.
Fury.
I don't know.
Because
Bamboo's always in there.
yeah, because he's he's your classic villain. That's another problem with the Black Panther thing. It's like, who's he gonna fight? Like, is it Claw?
The Wizard, maybe the they
a lot
can't
of
tie him in with the Fantastic Four.
yeah. Well,
they were always going over to Wakanda and doing stuff.
yeah. So that's like the Wizard, the Claw. They're like technically Fantastic Four villains, but like I don't think they're actually going to use them anytime soon, considering they can't even get Doctor Doom right. So maybe the Marvel will be able to be like, oh yeah, these are we got dibs on
Maybe
these.
they're gonna have like the Mad Thinker,
Oh man, the
the Red
Tinkerer,
Ghost.
the Mad Tinkerer. Yeah, with Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. No, he's got Space Ape. He's got Space Monkeys, right?
Yeah, he has all those communist monkeys.
Sea monkeys?
Oh goodness. So yeah, there's your long haired Doctor Strange without goatee.
He's got the glasses.
Yeah, your
John
90s
Lennon
glasses.
I got a bunch of those signed though when we went to Comic Con.
Glasses?
No, the issues, and I got a sweet sketch
Ah.
by Isherwood.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty sweet sketch. Then there's also Strange, not Doctor Strange. He had like a blue outfit and a white mask. And then, like, in the initial introduction of Doctor Strange, he was regular Doctor Strange. In his first appearance, he had a different color scheme. He had, like, more blue. He didn't have a red cape.
No.
And, like, had more orange or something. And then he also, for some reason, had, like, a blue mask and outfit thing.
Yeah, I don't remember why that was, but that did show up in a couple of the issues I have where his face is totally covered. But everyone knows who you are, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't know what if that's some
maybe,
magic armor.
Maybe
they
they'll
should
do that. Maybe they'll give him the mask so he can be the one to unmask.
But his name is Doctor Strange, and his real name is Doctor Stephen Strange. Also, it's kind of fortuitous that his last name was Strange, and he deals with the occult. That's just sort of one of those
fortuitous
comic coincidences. Yeah, like, do you have any idea what the characterization of Doctor Strange is?
Well, at the beginning, he was very arrogant, which is why he had the big downfall. He thought he was better than everyone else. He's the best surgeon ever, so he could afford to drink and drive because
obviously
he's so good at
hubris.
That totally applies to drunken driving.
Yeah. Well, he was a neurosurgeon, so he knows what happens to your brain
when you drink.
Yeah. So
he did it.
He thought, yeah.
Well, he's one step ahead of the game. He knows.
But he's very aloof. He studies a lot, of course. He reads a bunch of magic books.
Does he play Magic?
Probably.
The Gathering?
Dungeons and Dragons. Magic.
By himself.
Illusions.
With Wong. But he makes Wong lose all the time. So, yeah, he's sort of just by himself. I don't see him tying into the other movies unless everyone else gets sucked into the dark dimension where Dormammu is.
Yeah, well, I'm saying he could probably have one of those infinity things, or have the tools to deal with that with his Deus Ex Machina magic powers.
Well, like I said, he ties into that in the books.
Yeah.
So maybe he's friends with...
Well, the
Thanos.
Adam Warlock cocoon, they said, popped up in the collector's collection in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, so we might see some Adam Warlock before all's said and done.
Well, let's hope we
There's your second or third tier character.
We also saw Howard the Duck in his collection, and I'm not holding my breath.
Maybe he's one of the Infinity Gems.
Howard the Duck
Yes.
is one of the gems.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the animal gem. So we can get Spider-Ham and Dr. Doom.
Well, he did come from a different dimension, so maybe he has the space gem.
Oh
Maybe he's using it as a paperweight back home at his desk. Oh, that old thing? There you go.
So where does the Indian in the cupboard tie into this? Because I feel like that has to have some sort of...
That's what Ant-Man uses to
make friends.
So Darth Vader and G.I. Joe's
T-Rex.
Yeah. From Jurassic Park.
Doctor Strange, up until this point, has not exactly been lighting it up in pop culture. He had one psychedelic, weird TV movie pilot in the 70s. It's on YouTube, so yeah, it's awful.
I haven't seen that.
I've seen clips of it. It's awful.
The mom from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the seductress, sort of. Because it's 40 years ago, so she was not old then.
Bells are off. Go to the girl and wait. A man will come to free her. You must prevent this. You may have the girl, but bring the man to me.
But yeah, it's awful. Yeah, Doctor Strange, maybe he's bringing actual magic into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I mean, that's something we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, because they're sort of straddling the line with Asgardians, where they're like, oh, they're aliens, and it might be like a science we don't understand and stuff.
Yeah.
But
so
then...
It would be cool to see Doctor Strange go, like, beat Tony, because Tony's thinking, oh, I have all this science, and...
Yeah,
if
Doctor Strange be like, God is dead. I saw him.
If any of them, like... can still say that stuff, like, I mean, even though you haven't actually seen magic, but if somebody told you that magic was real and you don't believe it, a fucking portal opened up over New York City, and aliens came through.
Yeah, but that's not
magic is ridiculous.
These people have these powers. No, I don't believe it.
Magic that's kid stuff.
Yeah, I just wonder how they're going to make it, Guardians of the Galaxy goofy, this movie, because obviously that's like your new MO. Everything's just like...
Well, it's a good contrast to DC's everything's dark and gritty.
Yeah. But it's like, is Doctor Strange cracking wise with Wong?
Yeah.
Well, Wong is usually the comic relief. He's very, curt and he doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's one of those zingers.
Hilarious.
Like Nigel on The Nanny.
Niles on Frasier.
Or was it not?
No,
Was it Nigel on
Yeah.
The Nanny? Yeah.
The dad?
No, the butler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have a butler and a nanny. Jesus Christ.
They were that rich.
Yeah.
Well, the nanny didn't do anything around the house.
No, she was too busy banging Mr. Sheffield and cockblocking Kitty, Kiki, Kooky.
Kitty. Kissy. I don't know. But Mr. Sheffield reminds me of Doctor Strange sometimes. Same sort of character. He doesn't really know what's happening in the real world, but...
Okay, so that's amazing.
Doctor Strange.
That's a good characterization.
Sheffield.
That's a good rap.
Niles, you got any seltzer? Oh, yeah, I had too much pickled herring. It's all right here.
Oh my God. All right, you win, Miss Fine. If Brighton really wants to play canasta, then I suppose I should allow him to follow his dream.
What dream? Playing cards with a bunch of old ladies? I think it's sick.
So, Doctor Strange, he deals in other dimensions, so maybe he's visited a what-if world, and we don't even know.
Probably.
So he popped up from time to time. So his first foray into the what if. What if Volume 1, Number 18? What if Doctor Strange were a disciple of Dormammu? That's some de-alliteration. On the cover, we see Dormammu with some Human Torch head.
These are
It's also
purple
like a
ski
ghost
mask.
But yeah, he looks like a sock monkey.
Or Zemo.
And he's...
Yeah, it's a Zemo man.
He's laying this. Doctor Strange is laying the smack down on the Ancient One, who's in his battle garb with his battle slippers,
Looks like cool on gas.
Those are like women's shoes.
some flats.
And a dress.
So we start off with a recap of his origin. He's got a car accident, finds the Ancient One, and saves the Ancient One from Mordo's machinations.
Duplicity.
Yes, Dormammu's duplicity through Mordo's machinations. Whoa.
Is this part of the story?
Yes, where Spider-Man fights a Chinese lady over Twinkies. Gotta love those 70s and 80s comic books. The Hostess ads. And
What's her name?
Hubbub.
June Jitsu. Stereotypical Asian.
And she's not even using jiu-jitsu. She's using, karate kicks.
And what color is your outfit?
Yellow.
Oh no.
Racist. In this reality, where it differs, Dormammu says, "Hey Mordo, make Doctor Strange my new disciple." And Mordo's like, "Well, that can be good." And he's like, "No, do it." And so, Mordo, spineless and, just doesn't want to incur Dormammu's wrath, tricks Doctor Strange or tempts him with healed hands. Ooh. Doctor Strange gets healed and resumes being arrogant. "No patience today, nurse. I'm reviewing my stock portfolio." Which, if this were today, he'd just go on to his Fidelity little web portal and check it in about a minute and then be done. And then he could still see patients and make that cheddar.
You gotta look through mountains of papers.
Exactly. Call your stockbroker, get some ticker tape. Eventually, Mordo and Dormammu come to collect what's theirs or whatever.
His hands?
Yes.
They cut him off.
No. They just say, "Hey, you got to come back and be our disciple." And Doctor Strange is like, "Well, you healed my hands." "Yes, I'll do it."
No, that's good.
And each one,
Upholding his end of the bargain.
yeah, he's an honorable guy.
Yeah.
And the Ancient Ones, "No, God, why? What have we done? The balance of the universe." So of course, to restore the balance of the universe, he goes to Doctor Doom. He needs a good doctor. A doctorate is a prerequisite to being Sorcerer Supreme.
Well, there's another good example of the name fitting what you become.
Yes.
Because his name was Von Doom.
Yes. Why did he drop Vaughn? You think he would still go by Dr. Von Doom because he's so arrogant and loves himself. He's not like, "Oh, I'm all about Doom. I'm all about Von Doom."
Well, I think maybe it's just what other people were calling him.
Ah.
The newspapers.
And
Jameson.
he's like, alliteration. So Dr. Doom's like, "Get out of here. I don't want anything to do with this." Ancient One assembles his magical bee squad, led by, of course, broke-ass Doctor Strange, Dr. Druid.
Oh.
Boo!
Hey, give him some credit.
No.
What's his name?
Horrible death.
His name is Anthony Druid.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what does he become?
What is this honorable death or whatever?
He
He's
got
horrible.
burned alive in a garbage can.
Immolation.
Pretty sure that's what happened anyway.
Yeah, so then there's Agatha Harkness, which is someone I remember, and then a bunch of people I don't know.
Is Jennifer Kale in there?
No. Rama Khalif, Turan Barim, Lord Riff.
Brother
no,
Voodoo?
Fife. Nope. Wait, no.
Drum?
No, Brother Voodoo. He's basically assembling the magic defenders or whatever. Dormammu orders evil Doctor Strange to kill Mordo because Dormammu be evilin'. And so Doctor Strange's like, yep. Dormammu's apparently sister, Ursa, she is going to seduce Doctor Strange to help use him even more, not just as a disciple of Dormammu, but as his like conduit to leave whatever limbo plane Dormammu's, wherever he's hanging out in that dark dimension.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. It seems like a good place for him. He's dark. It's a dark dimension.
Well, his head's on fire. So.
Would his head not be on fire? And
well, maybe that it ruins the darkness of it. So.
So Ursa tries to seduce Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange, he's a wily veteran. So like when she's trying to seduce him, she's like, stupid mortal, and he's like, stupid woman. That's what he's thinking. So basically, she's thinking stupid mortal. He's stupid because he's not a god or demigod. He's thinking she's stupid because she's not a man.
I think that sums it up, but that's a good character for Benedict Cumberbatch because he's used to thinking everyone else is stupid.
Yes. Yeah, see, like, I haven't watched any of the new Sherlock Holmes. I stopped at Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. You guys remember that cartoon, right? Oh, yeah.
The Cyborg Watson?
Yeah, that's totally a Sunday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, Doctor Strange goes all not crazy, but evil, attacking the Magic Bee Squad, and they all get sucked into the dark dimension via the Eye of Agamotto, or something like that. And eventually, Doctor Strange is face to face with Eternity, the embodiment of all that is. And Eternity is like, nope, get out of here, and sends him back from whence he came. So this sort of I think it sort of snaps some reality back into Doctor Strange. He knows he's being used by Dormammu, and he's like gonna have none of it. So eventually it all leads to Doctor Strange being caught literally in the middle of a battle between Dormammu and Eternity, and sort of being used as this fulcrum of power. He chooses good eventually, and that shifts the balance, and Dormammu's defeated. Yeah. So it's one of those those what if endings that I don't like, where it's like, oh, what if this hero was evil? He'd be good eventually. It's like, well, just show me what it'd be like if he'd be evil and stay evil. Because what if he also gets a snazzy new outfit, green and black attire? Yeah. So none of these crimson bands.
Does that just happen, or did he make that?
Yeah, I think.
Or just magic.
Magic.
I think it's just magic because, like, in one panel he's recovering as traditional Doctor Strange garb,
and then in the next one
we're showing the Brave New World where he's wearing his snazzy new green getup. So yeah, this overall this issue is fine.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a if you read it, you're reading a Doctor Strange tale. It's definitely like a good encapsulation of what Doctor Strange is all about. Mm-hmm. Otherworldly planes.
Arrogance.
Yep. A lot of Dormammu's there, Ancient One's there, Mordo's there. So all your classic characters, and it's like a lot of stuff where it's not going to be a lot of human connection. It's not really about emotions between human beings. It's more like, here's some cool magic stuff that's happening, and like the fate of existence as we know it's in the balance, even though nobody knows any different. Right. Spider-Man doesn't know anything about this.
He saves the universe like thousands of times, but no one knows.
Yeah, exactly.
So no one cares.
Yeah.
And he lives in a Greenwich village or something.
Greenwich.
Nope, Greenwich.
Greenwich.
Oh, because with a green cape, and he's a green witch. Woo! Let's you were talking about Iron Man and stuff earlier.
I was.
Yeah, and alcoholism.
Yeah.
Well, this asks, what if Tony Stark was Sorcerer Supreme? Yo!
What's Doctor Strange doing?
This is Tony Stark as Doctor Strange, so obviously he's going to have some Iron Man accoutrements.
Of course.
And
why would he need them?
Some techno background with Dormammu on top. See, two covers, both with Dormammu's fiery head in the background. You know, it shows you what it's all about.
That one doesn't look as Zemo-esque, though.
No, this is more of a Burning Man sort of look. Where this all came about is that in this universe, Doctor Strange and Tony Stark are friends.
Drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Rich, arrogant a-holes. And so Tony Stark causes the accident, drunk driving, ready to wail, as the Brian Setzer Orchestra would say. And so he causes Doctor Strange's hands to be crippled. So this makes Doctor Strange bitter at Tony Stark.
He's damn lucky to just get out of this car accident with
Bad hands.
Just busted up hands. How does that happen?
Hands were everywhere.
Yeah, he tries to stop the airbag with his hands, and they get bent backwards. But they're good enough to strangle Tony Stark with.
No. That must feel awkward.
Or maybe he did a horrible job, so he's just like, he's just resting his thumbs on his trachea. So they go to the Ancient One together. I'd be like, fuck off, Tony. Haven't you done enough?
I don't need your help.
Yeah. So in the midst of all this, it turns out the same scenario needs to be, the Ancient One needs to be saved from Mordo, but it's Tony Stark that does it. He's the Sorcerer Supreme. Whoa!
So what happens to Doctor Strange?
Oh, don't worry about it. His hands are still crippled.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming, Tony.
Yeah. Basically, so he's narrating this, and he says, and I had the honor of accompanying him back to the States as his new personal secretary. And what of my hands? So, yeah.
So wait, he's going to be a secretary, which generally involves using your hands to type or write.
Well, I don't think he's literally his note-taking secretary. I think he's just his personal assistant. The new Jarvis.
Because he can't do anything.
Yeah, he tries to serve him some tea. Just Michael J. Fox's it all over the place.
Oh.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the SummerSlam 98 commercial.
Remiss.
Yeah. The Highway to Hell, Stone Cold versus The Undertaker. Good build-up, terrible match, because I think Stone Cold got knocked loopy about 2 minutes in. So they're just like, whoa.
Beer can to the head?
Probably.
Yeah. So, we see Stone Cold Steve Austin, who in cartoon form is just a big guy.
Who doesn't look like he's wearing any pants.
No. He's swinging the Statue of Liberty's torch at The Undertaker, who makes a better cartoon character, at least.
He did have a good comic book series.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We should do that as a bonus episode sometime. The WWE comics.
That could have been good Halloween stuff, too.
Yep.
We really dropped the ball on Halloween.
Okay, so let's get it together for Christmas.
Yeah,
I think I have a Lobo Christmas special we can talk about.
I have that.
I thought we were going to do The Undertaker for Christmas.
I have that team up with Spider-Man and the Watcher, the special Christmas issue.
Yeah.
Signed by Rick Parker.
That's amazing. Well, like the What If Nova we did at the Boston Comic Con, I think that had some Christmas overtones because like him blowing up was like the North Star. But anyway, back to Doctor Strange. Tony Stark's a bitch, and no, Doctor Strange is a bitch, and Tony Stark is Big Pimp as Iron Man and Doctor Strange at the same time. And he
was he already Iron Man at this time?
Well, he doesn't have the Iron Man armor, but he builds essentially Iron Man armor to aid his magical abilities. So he's like the best of both worlds, as Van Halen would say.
Or Miley Cyrus.
So, Tony Stark uses all these Iron Man accoutrements to kill ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. Hobnob, green, or otherwise.
Does he actually kill his enemy, the Ghost, the Iron Man enemy?
No. Or Red Ghost.
Yeah, but they don't necessarily come around and bother him because he's not Iron Man.
Yeah.
But he's Iron Strange.
He's Iron Strange.
Yeah, that's the note that came up with him to refer to him in the notes.
Or
Iron
Dr.
Strange.
Man.
So yeah, it's like an evidence of him fighting off guys with his Iron Man armor, even while Doctor Strange in it is him. There's something called a spell parasite that is attacking Iron Strange, and he uses his technology to confirm its identity, and then uses the repulsor rays because apparently those fight magic too. And
well, now they do because they're being powered by magic.
Yes, so he's able to fight off a magic being without using spells. Whoa! Eventually.
Oh, good lord!
Iron Strange fights Dormammu, as he is wont to do, but Big D wins with some help from Stephen Strange.
Whoa!
Because he's all bitter because he's,
Why would you be so... Would you really be that mad?
That you want to kill your best friend?
Yeah, yes. To help this evil entity.
Take over the universe?
Yeah.
Well, The key to Iron...
He's such a baby.
The key to Doctor Strange's heart is through his hands, because Dormammu offers to heal his hands.
Alright, see, that's the other thing. Why didn't Tony Stark ever just be like, yo, I healed your hands, because I could either build you new hands,
yes,
or just magic.
Or, yeah, just give him robot hands.
Yeah, making him surgery gloves.
Apocalypse and an angel. But now you're one of your
yeah, well, eventually his new hands will grow in underneath the cybernetic hands and burst out like Angel's wings did.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is evil now because he's got his healed hands.
Good.
Eventually, and then when I say eventually, I mean like 2 pages later, because we're just making a snappy today. In the Dark Dimension, Doctor Strange will be hanging out, and he has a change of heart because probably he doesn't want Dormammu to take over the universe. And
does he still have shrapnel in his heart?
Maybe. Maybe that's why he has, he builds some armor to do that. And then he's like, oh, I'll just use it to boost my magic powers, because obviously magic powers aren't good enough. Technology can make it better.
Yeah.
And it might be, Clea
Nice.
is who convinces Doctor Strange to turn good. And because he tells him, that's exactly what this Dormammu fellow's up to. If the flaming head and demon powers didn't... Doctor Strange has a change of heart because of Clea and not wanting to doom the universe. So he puts on the Iron Strange armor, which Dormammu was holding in a glass case, and frees Tony, who's been held captive. Because, Dormammu wants to kill everybody, but not, the person who's going to be conveniently available to thwart him later.
Does he have him
sealed
up in a glass case?
No, the armor's in a glass case.
Yeah, nobody will get to it there.
And Doctor Strange is in chains, so he's breaking the Iron Strange, who's Doctor Strange, be breaking the chains, as Dawkins would say.
Yeah.
Eventually, Iron Strange fights off Dormammu, and so Tony Stark's spirit form on the spiritual plane, which is the astral plane, which is another one of Doctor Strange's tropes.
Yeah,
becoming a transparent version of himself, is fighting Dormammu's astral form. But Tony has the Iron Man armor phase off of him, and then throw Dormammu's body into another dimension by using multidimensional transporting, randomized by a computer program.
Of course.
So it'll be a long time before Dormammu finds his body again. But
then he will.
Yes.
Eventually.
Yes.
That's someone else's problem.
Yeah, Iron Strange 2099.
And whatever happens to his body when he goes into the astral plane, who's watching it to make sure?
Wong.
The whole time.
Sometimes he's just standing there and he's like, wouldn't he just collapse? Break his neck maybe?
No, he just rigor mortis. Stephen, Doctor Strange, decides to stay in the Dark Dimension with his, or I suppose it's not as dark anymore with Dormammu not there.
You'd think it'd be darker because that was a big giant flaming head.
So he's hanging out with Clea in some dimension, and Tony Stark goes back to Earth to be Iron Strange.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. So it's got some cool concepts. It's got some 90s cartoony art, but it's not the worst I've seen. It's not the super giant manga eyes or anime eyes or whatever. It's just there's certain visual styles that take over each decade, and the 90s definitely had some sort of exaggerated.
Lots of angles.
Yeah.
Who did the art on the other one?
I don't know. It's some guy. It's Tony Sutton, I think.
Oh, of course.
Who ended up getting? So does Doctor Strange end up becoming Doctor Strange?
No. He's the dark dimension.
Yeah, I think he's just hanging out in the darkish dimension, and Tony returns to Earth as Iron Strange, and with his apparently magic powers and technologically advanced magic powers that can solve any problem. I think Iron Strange might be the most powerful force in this universe. Anything else to say about Doctor Strange, Turner?
Handlebar mustache.
Yeah, they're Tony Stark and Doctor Strange can be brothers in mustache.
And he can be brothers in white streaks with Reed Richards.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes I feel like
Yeah, but his white streak wraps all the way around the back of his head.
Yes. Well, I've seen. Reed's is usually just the temples.
Yeah, his goes,
just fades in.
His goes all the way around.
Yeah. Well, in that picture, it's just a perfect white stripe, like a skunk. It's not even like he's graying from an area down. It's
painted all the way around the back of his head.
Well, yeah,
Doctor Strange sounds like I bet you there's some bro somewhere with that nickname.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he gets a new girl every night.
Oh, getting some Strange.
Getting lots of Strange.
That's just true.
So his friends call him Doctor
He's a
Strange.
pre-med student.
Yeah.
That's so many
Loves
words.
drunk driving.
Loves drunk driving. Favorite pastime.
Yeah, so I'm it's gonna be cool, I think, to see maybe a different visual style and some otherworldly stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe style.
Yeah, and this is one step closer to doing the Man-Thing movie.
Exactly. Yeah, because he could open up the gates to like a Netflix original series, Man-Thing.
Why not?
He just shows up. He's like waves his Spider-Man fingers. He's like, "Hey guys, this is happening," and then just walks away.
And you bring up Netflix, and they're doing Defenders, and they don't have Doctor Strange.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're gonna get him because Benedict Cumberbatch's got other stuff to do besides Netflix series.
No, they don't.
Yeah, did you see the picture of Daredevil from that Netflix series?
No.
Where he just has like
Black.
all black suit.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I have a feeling it might be like a prototype suit, like something he wears.
Well,
and
I
like,
guess he
Before he makes
used to wear just a plain black suit before he got all bright red, or before he was yellow. He was just he just wore regular black clothes.
You're saying like before, but like in his timeline, not in the like in appearances.
In the beginning.
Yeah, in his flashback, basically. Yeah, so like...
So, yeah, because why would you just go straight for
a red devil costume?
Yeah.
In your first few outings, you're going to be like, oh, I gotta keep a low profile.
Yeah, you gotta try it out.
Exactly. So, what if Doctor Strange...
I don't know what you did to me last night. I don't want to know. It doesn't matter. I don't want anything more to do with it.
So in closing, I will remind you to follow us on Twitter at @TheSlimJames or at @giant_size, theslimjames.com, giantsizecomicthings.com. The WIP What If podcast is on iTunes, on Stitcher, on YouTube, and on Vimeo. So go out there and find us. And remember, don't spend the rest of your life asking, what if?